Ryan Kolkbrenner has had 4 blocks in each of his last 4 games. You've spoken a lot this year about how quickly he's picked things up. But what is it about the rim protection area, the shot blocking area, that he is really allows him to put up those numbers that he has this year, and sort of the natural abilities he has to get to those shots when maybe some others can't?
Yeah, I think it's a high basketball IQ to understand timing and positioning and being in the right spot. And then there's also this part of just being a competitor, being fearless. He'll go up there and somebody's trying to dunk. He's trying to block a shot. Somebody tries to shoot a floater. He's going to block a shot. He's not worried about always trying to keep his guy from getting an offensive rebound. He's truly just focused on trying to help us protect the rim. And so I think there's a commitment there, a commitment to trying to win, and a commitment to also just being selfless and being a team guy and whatever the team needs to help protect the paint. So love what he's kind of giving us down there around the rim, and appreciate everything that he's kind of doing to help anchor that side of the court.
One quick follow-up. Are you starting to see opposing teams kind of steer more away from him just at the threat of a possible block there and just the altering of shots? Even if he doesn't get a block, are you starting to see some of that resistance popping up just 9-10 games in?
Yeah, I see it a little bit, but I also still see some guys trying to drive to the paint. I think it's actually just kind of a league-wide thing. It seems like everyone's just driving the ball with so much more force and understanding how good your offense can be if you can get a paint touch, and then what it does for your team in terms of getting layups, getting fouled, kicking out for threes. And so, yes, there's a little bit of hesitation, but we got to continue to just be really good on the ball too as well, because it's become, I think, a league-wide theme to try to drive.
Charles, tall task tonight guarding Luka. Talk about the decision to blitz or not blitz someone like that with the playmaking ability and such a high usage rate.
Yeah, I would say, every team has thrown a lot of different coverages at him, and I think everyone goes about it with a different mindset of what you want to take away that evening or how you want to make him uncomfortable. Blitzing is good, trying to get the ball out of his hands, maybe trying to limit some of his field goal attempts or ability to maybe get fouled. But I think that a player of his caliber, it has to be various looks. And he's seen blitz before, and as tall as he is and as good of a passer as he is and a willing passer, he gets rid of it really quickly, really easily. So I think there's a lot of ways to do it, and we'll see how many different coverages we need to kind of throw at him tonight, because he is one of their great creators and, one of the best creators in the NBA right now.
There are a lot of things to be optimistic about with this team, but on the flip side, how do you accurately evaluate this team when your top 2 players aren't in the lineup?
Yeah, I think that we got to just always focus on, like, what is our process? What do we want our identity to be? And evaluating people on that type of scale. And, I would say in terms of process, a lot of times that's your game plan about how you're trying to go about things defensively, offensively, what are the ways we want to attack that evening, and then our identity, really just sticking to our absolutes. Like, what are our defensive absolutes? What are our offensive absolutes? And how do we grade ourselves in each one of those areas is the most important thing from a day-to-day basis. I would say even as we go to practice, a lot of times we'll talk about this in absolutes practice, and we work on everything that we want to be really good at. Even as we go through our scouting report, same type of thing. And, when it comes to process, I think that our guys every day are focused on how can I get better? How can I come in with the right mindset, whether it's body, court, preparation, controlling the things that we can control. So that's what we kind of focus on. And then, there's also player development metrics that I think we're always trying to think of. How are we helping our guys continue to grow? And some of them, as you said, like our young guys, they've been put in some situations where it helps their experience. And I think that we're seeing them get better and better with more reps.
With Melo, this is 4 straight games now for him being out. Just wondering what's going on with him health-wise, and are you concerned again with the ankles, knowing that he had surgery in the offseason that's supposed to take care of, I guess, the issue?
Yeah, great question. So I'm actually excited about the progress that he's been making. Every day I feel like he's feeling a little bit better, able to do more on the court. And so I think our performance staff and him have sat down, all 3 of us actually, and laid out a plan. And Melo's excited about it. I'm excited about it. Our organization's excited about it. And at the end of the day, we're trying to just focus on how can we continue to maximize how many games he can play this season.
Is it soreness, or is it just discomfort? What can you say, I guess, about what he's dealing with, if anything?
Yeah, I would just say that he's continuing to strengthen and work on things so that he's able to play in as many games as possible. And I think that the movement gets better and better every day. And so that's where I would classify it.
Hey, Charles, Dick Smith Jr. is here, and obviously he was with y'all last year. What kind of insight can you share on what kind of player he is and what you would hope for him as he continues his career with another team?
Yeah, enjoyed getting to coach Nick last year and getting to know Nick as a human being. Defensively, really competitive, still trying to learn his way on that end of the court and positioning and where to be, but very competitive. And so I feel like he's always trying to stick his nose in there. And he's a hooper. Like, he loves to play. He loves to get in the gym and get shots up and work. And he's very curious, so he'll ask a lot of questions, I think, to the veteran players and stuff. And it's, I think, helping him also being around such a more veteran group in LA. Offensively, dynamic scorer, can kind of score at all three levels. Really good shooter, catch and shoot and off the dribble. Very confident player when it comes to offense as well.
3 of the 4 rookies are receiving the majority of the headlines, but Lee McNeely has seen his minutes load increase slowly throughout the season. What have you liked about his game so far, and is there anything specific that you want to see him continue to grow into as his rookie year progresses?
I love Liam's spirit. Even when he wasn't getting a ton of minutes early on in the season, but kind of still part of the rotation, constantly engaged, constantly supporting his teammates, always up, celebrating a defensive stop, a bucket. I also have just loved, like, defensively, I think that he still needs a level of physicality to him, but he knows where to be in the right spots. And so, like, technically, really good. I think just needs to do things sometimes with more force and physicality. And then offensively, when he's playing with a level of confidence and assertiveness and decisiveness, I think that he can do a bunch of really good things. I think we've seen him shoot the three well, or decently, and I want him to hunt even more threes. Like, he's got a good shot and he works on it. But he's also been able to drive the ball and get fouled. And I think he's also been able to drive the ball and kick out and make the right rim reads and shift reads. So he really has a total package, and I'm excited for him to get some extended minutes, because it puts him in some situations as a young player that's going to help him grow.
And sorry. So Antonio Reeves got called up from Greensboro today. Should we expect to see him in the rotation in his first night in Charlotte, or does he have to work his way into that role?
Swarm 2-0. So excited to have AR with us. Hopefully he can bring that winning spirit to our team right now and help us kind of put together a streak here. But excited to have him with our group. We'll see where minutes happen for him, but it was really good to have him at shoot around this morning and have him back with the team. He's competed his tail off throughout training camp, helped us get better, went to Greensboro and had a really good stint this weekend versus a really good Maine Celtics team. And so excited to have him with our group right now. We'll see what happens rotation and minutes wise.
Coach, you had mentioned a moment ago about how, Luka Doncic requires a certain amount of attention for a game plan, and wondered where Austin Reeves fits in on that, and kind of just how dynamic you've seen him in the games that he's played this year.
Yeah, both are very dynamic. I think one's averaging like 34, the other one 31 or something like that. And so they take up a bulk of the scoring for the Lakers. And so it'll be important that we're just really mindful of where both of them are on the floor early in transition, trying to make their catches as tough as possible, maybe trying to limit some of their touches as well, trying to maybe throw some different looks and different bodies at them. So I think both require a lot of attention. We've obviously seen, too, what Reeves has been able to do at the end of games when other guys have been out, and, some of the game-winning heroics that he had, like in Minnesota. So looking forward to the challenge of trying to stop those two guys, or at least make it tough on those two guys tonight.
Coach, what kind of teaching moments did you have from the Heat game? Because I know we talked post-game, not the first quarter that you wanted, but the second quarter, my goodness, what those guys were able to do. I'm just wondering, what were some of the things that you pointed out before you kind of flushed it and moved on?
Yeah, first, I think one thing was don't overreact sometimes when teams have big runs or big quarters. Miami jumps out to a 53-point quarter, and I know it might sound crazy, but like, you go back and watch, and some of the processes and possessions were like good defense. You get a block shot or something at the rim, you get a deflection, and Wiggins gets the ball and hits a jab three. Like, to me, good process. And there's a bunch of possessions like that. And then, of course, there's a couple that you wish you could have back that maybe don't look as good, but don't overreact. We have the talent, we have the competitiveness, we have the togetherness to be able to get ourselves back in the game. And then you look what we do in that second quarter, And I think we hold them to 21 or 19 in the second and third quarters, respectively. And even during those moments, I would say, don't feel like you have to get it all back by yourself, because there's still, like, when things get tough, that's when I think you need to have even more discipline, even more of this level of sacrifice where you think you want to go get it back yourself, but maybe sacrifice yourself for ultimately what the big picture is to try to win the game. And we put ourselves in the best position when I think we're playing team basketball, the ball's moving, we're creating good shot quality for ourselves. So we watched a bunch of possessions where, they make a shot or something happens, and our response tends to be, I want to go do it by myself, instead of how are we going to get a better shot on the other end and not overreact. And so I think the group was really responsive to that. How can we just be, like, when moments get tough, when we get a little bit more tired, how can we be even more disciplined? How can we sacrifice a little bit of that I want to go do it myself, and start thinking, how can we go do it?
For Khan, obviously, you guys scouted him, watched a ton of film on him. Where is he more advanced than maybe you thought he would be with just a couple weeks into the season?
The defensive end of the court has really been impressive to me. I think we knew his offensive skill set and how he could blossom and be able to do a ton of things, because he's got a high basketball IQ along with a really good, obviously, offensive feel for the game. But defensively, I've been really impressed. I always thought strong player, but wasn't sure about how he would be on ball. And there's still things that he wants to continue to work on tactically and technically. But he's been really impressive with his on-ball defense and ability to, slide step and want to embrace the challenge. So I really love what he's done there.